In the past few decades, there has been a growth in instructional support roles in higher education. To understand this growth, I first need to dissect the process of teaching. Teaching starts with someone with extensive knowledge and expertise. In higher education, this is the professor, someone who has put in years of study focusing on a topic in depth, and the goal of teaching is to transfer some of that knowledge to the students. For better or for worse, we can't just upload knowledge to students' minds directly, like uploading software into computers. There's a process required by which we enable students to build up their own knowledge, and that process is called pedagogy. You can divide pedagogy into two main parts, the preparation and the delivery. Preparation involves tasks like breaking down your topics into logical segments, writing learning goals and aligning the course activities with those goals, choosing the materials such as textbooks, videos, readings, and software, planning the activities and assessments of the course, anticipating places where students are likely to get confused and building mitigating strategies, and so on. After preparation comes the delivery phase. During this part, skillful teachers take pains to explain their topics as clearly as possible. They demonstrate warmth and empathy when interacting with students. They display passion for their subject, and they're careful to communicate with students in a responsive manner. Oh, and of course, the dreaded grading. And the list could go on. One issue is that the process of getting an advanced degree usually provides little to no training in pedagogy, even though the majority of PhD holders will have to teach at some point. This oversight has to do with the cultural myth in America that teaching is something that just anybody can do, rather than being a highly skilled profession. Thus, most professors are thrown into teaching with little formal preparation for the actual tasks of the job. This is an issue that has long existed. Then online teaching came along. Online teaching requires all of the same skills as in-person teaching, but there are additional factors because the pedagogical process is mediated by a glowing screen of some kind and usually the expectation of asynchronous delivery. Online teaching exposed another major domain involved in the process, which is design. Designers wrestle with questions like, how easy is it for the users to find what they need? How aesthetically pleasing are the materials which can inspire users to persist? How can I remove barriers for users with disabilities? What are the appropriate tools to accomplish the goals of the course? What will the user's experience be like as they go through the course, either motivating or demotivating? And the list could go on. The other major domain involved in teaching is technology. By this, I don't mean tech support or programming and so on. I mean the usage and application of technology to teaching. Some example tasks in this domain include setup of the enterprise software we have available, and then there's actually using the software, which sometimes requires a significant learning curve just to get started. The technological domain also includes questions like how to make the interactions on the site responsive to different platforms and devices. Students might be using a computer, for example, or an iPad or a Chromebook, and who knows what gadgets will be invented tomorrow. And that leads me to another technological task, which is just keeping up with the field. The world of tech changes really quickly. So you see, online teaching includes not only the pedagogical domain, but also the domains of design and technology. Also, side note, it would be fair to point out that the domains of design and technology are not completely absent from face-to-face teaching. They just become much more salient online. To make this easier to read, let's put all the example tasks I mentioned so far into a list. Let's say, for the sake of simplicity, that these are the main tasks necessary for teaching. It has become apparent to many people that expecting faculty to gain proficiency in all of these new skills is somewhat unfair. Teaching is already a demanding profession. Adding all these new specialties to the job is a burden. This is where support staff, such as instructional designers, can step in. These people have training and usually experience with teaching and pedagogy, and they have additional specialties in the design and technology fields. And generally, their order of priorities is exactly that: pedagogy first, then design, then the application of technology to support and exalt the teaching. We can also picture it as a Venn diagram because the tasks of one domain are often exquisitely connected with tasks and principles of the other domains. Different jobs and roles will often have more of a focus on one or the other domain, but professionals are expected to understand the concepts from all of the domains. This makes the work stronger no matter which one is currently in focus. Today's world more than ever is complex and requires collaboration and interconnectedness. Needs and roles will look different from department to department, but skilled and talented staff and faculty can work together to support the crucial and transformational mission of higher education.